Hello, this is Mr. Gamal Hassan, and in this video we're gonna tackle only one single question from the digital SAT, and specifically it is from the grammar section or the writing section. So let's get started. My friends, since we're about to tackle one of the grammar questions from the digital SAT, there must be a first step that must be done all the time whenever we're about to tackle one of the grammar questions. I'll keep reminding you of this rule all the time. Whenever you're about to tackle one of the grammar questions from the digital SAT, the first step is to look at the answer choices. Okay, so why it is very important for you to look at the answer choices? Because looking at the answer choices here can help you figure out the convention or the grammar rule that is being tested for this specific question. So I'm gonna put this into effect. So I'm gonna look at the answer choices. The first thing that I can notice about the answer choices that all of them contain relatively many words. Okay, not only one or two words as usual for those questions. So the first thing is that there are relatively many words for every single question. And if you read them all, so answer choice A says Henry resumed his reign. B, the reign of Henry resumed. C, Henry's reign resumed. And finally, answer choice D says it was Henry who resumed his reign. So you can say that all the answer choices have the same idea, but the words are arranged in different ways for every single answer choice. So I have two things to say about the answer choices here. The first thing is that every single answer choice has more than one word or relatively many words, okay? And all of them just have or express the same idea but into different arrangement of the words, okay? So all of them contain the same piece of information that Henry resumed his reign, but in different arrangement of the words. So I can tell that this is one question that we can classify as subject modifier placement. And my friends, subject modifier placement is that it is a must for you to put the noun next to the introductory phrase that modifies it. Okay, so I'm gonna just answer the question and you're gonna understand what is meant by subject modifier placement. So it is very important for you to put the subject next to the introductory phrase that modifies it. So let's get started. I'm gonna read now. So in 1453, English King Henry VI became unfit to rule after falling gravely ill. As a result, Parliament appointed Richard, 3rd Duke of York, who had a strong claim of the English or to the English throne, to rule as a Lord Protector. Now this is the new sentence. Upon recovering 2 years later, blank, forcing an injured Richard from the royal court and precipitating a series of battles later known as the Wars of the Roses. And by the way, those wars are very well known in history. So I'm gonna start from here, okay? I'm gonna start from here. So here we have an introductory phrase. So, and I know from the answer choices that this is a subject modifier question. So here I have to say that I'm gonna ask myself who recovered 2 years later. So I'm gonna read it carefully. This part must be read carefully. So it says here, upon covering 2 years later, blank, forcing an injured Richard from the royal court and precipitating a series of battles later known as the Wars of the Roses. So here, I'm gonna ask myself who covered or who recovered 2 years later. This is the introductory phrase, and the subject that it modifies must come immediately after the comma here. So who recovered? Is it Henry? For sure. So answer choice A is Henry resumed his reign. So who recovered? The first noun here, it is Henry. So I can say that A is correct. Okay. So but even if I know that A is correct, I'm gonna just keep reading to know or to just let you know that the other answer choices are not correct. So here we said that we're just focusing on subject modifier placement. So the placement of the subject must be immediately after the introductory phrase that modifies it. Okay, so here Henry resumed his reign, which is correct now. But here, the reign of Henry, this noun phrase, the reign of Henry, can we say that the reign of Henry recovered 2 years later? My question is, who recovered 2 years later? The answer is the subject that must be placed in this specific blank. So can we say that the reign of Henry recovered 2 years later? For sure not. So B is not correct. Okay. Henry's reign, this noun phrase also cannot fit here because we cannot say that Henry's reign recovered 2 years later. So C is not correct. And also for D, it. So here the first word is it. Can we say that it, the function word it, recovered 2 years later? For sure we cannot say that. And this tells us that D is not correct. So once more, my friends, I can say that whenever we know from the answer choices that have more than one word and from the arrangement of the words that express the same idea, I can tell that this is a subject modifier placement, and I can say also that this is just requires you to put the noun that is, or the subject that is being modified by the introductory phrase immediately after the introductory phrase. So A is the correct answer choice. Okay, and that's all for now, and thanks a million. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.